Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, you guys, it's so good to see you all here waiting for me. I had a good weekend. Did you guys have a good weekend? Hi, everyone. My name is Debbie. Welcome to my channel. We are going back to the Phil Spector trial this morning. I'm glad that we didn't have to take too much of a break from it. Let's see who's here. Judy. We are in the home stretch of Spectre. Yes, we are. We are on the defense's Sir rebuttal case, which is kind of confusing because the rebuttal case of the prosecution has been peppered into the defense's case, which makes it confusing because usually it's prosecution, then defense, then prosecution rebuttal, then defense rebuttal, but it's been all out of order in this case. So, Spector had two firearms related convictions before Clarkson's death as well. In 1972 and 1975, Spector pleaded guilty to gun possession, brandishing, and assault charges and was placed on probation. Okay. Hey, Jill. Hey, Judy. Hey, Wiggles. Hey, Nancy. Great to have you back, Nancy. Nancy, congratulations. That's wonderful. Congrats. That's amazing. That's fantastic. Y'all, pumpkin spice season started early this year. I don't ever remember pumpkin spice starting in July, but it did this year, and I'm absolutely thrilled about it. However, this is not pumpkin spice. I do have the pumpkin spice in the fridge, though. I just wanted cold brew, and I couldn't find pumpkin spice in the cold brew. Not yet. They do have it, but not yet. This is caramel macchiato cold brew. But I will get the pumpkin spice later. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the Christmas flavors out. Funny thing about the Christmas flavors, though, is I don't like peppermint. And most of the Christmas flavors have peppermint in them. Quit barking at your food. I don't know why he barks at his food. It's not going anywhere. Okay, so I've got two witnesses set up. The first one is one of the paramedics. I'm assuming from when she hurt her wrists. I think his name is Stark Daniel. Yeah, Daniel Stark. So I think that's one of the paramedics from when she broke her wrists. And the other one, Tanara Hansen. Oh, it says she encountered Lana Clarkson at a party. Party where she broke her wrists, maybe? Hey, Tricia. Well, does the Christmas blend have peppermint? As if it doesn't have peppermint, then I'm fine with it. I just don't like peppermint. When I probably told y'all this story before, but when I was a kid, we went to visit my brother out in Oregon. Well, at the time he lived in Washington. Anyway, um and he was in the army. He was house sitting for one of his higher ups. in the Army, and they had a poodle, and I'm allergic to dogs, and we didn't know that yet. And usually, if you're allergic to dogs, you're not allergic to poodles. But yeah, me, the most unlucky person in the world, I'm allergic to poodles. So, my sister in law's mom, this was back before you could get Benadryl over the counter. And she had prescription Benadryl for her son, who was about the same age as me. So, it was a liquid and it was peppermint flavored. So, that's the only thing I can think of as to why I don't like peppermint now is because of the Benadryl being peppermint flavored that I had to take when I was a kid. But I don't know. That maybe I just didn't like peppermint. I have no idea. But I feel like I'm the only person on the planet that doesn't like peppermint. I like spearmint. I like wintergreen. I like other mints. I just do not like spearmint. I just don't. So every time it's like, you know, Christmas or even like St. Patrick's Day, like the shamrock shakes, like anything peppermint. No. Like Christmas. You want some peppermint bark? No, I do not. Oh, you don't like peppermint either? Oh, yes. Sweet. I have another. Yay, I have another peppermint hater. I've never met another person that doesn't like peppermint. Yay, I'm not alone anymore. Oh, you don't like it either, Nancy? Well, I'm amazed. I've never met anybody else that doesn't like peppermint. I always get the fruit flavored candy canes for the Christmas tree because I don't. Yeah, cinnamon, butterscotch. Like I said, I like wintergreen and spearmint fine. But like I use cinnamon toothpaste because you can't tell from winter blast or whatever they put on the label. You can't tell if it's spearmint or wintergreen or some other flavor because of the weird names they give these mints, like Frosty Fresh or whatever. What flavor is that? So we just get cinnamon. And the last time we bought toothpaste, I think Travis grabbed 2 tubes of it because it's hard to find cinnamon toothpaste now. Yeah, I see her ear too. I saw her ear and I looked at her, looked over to see if that was her ear. I'm mad at her. I'm very angry with her. Spike Dwayne! What the fudge? And now I'm mad at Spike. Daddy just let you outside. My earrings. My favorite pair of earrings. All I have left. Because Shadow got up here and decided to play hockey on my desk. And hockeyed one of them to non-existence. I have no idea where it is. My favorite pair of earrings. And Spike just pooped. He pooped! Yeah, he peed outside and he came inside and pooped. At least he did it on the linoleum and not the carpet. Wiggles. Hey, Wiggles, I've never met anybody before that doesn't like peppermint. This is amazing to me that there are other people in my chat, in my teeny tiny chat, that doesn't like peppermint. And I swear I've never met anybody before in my life that doesn't like peppermint. Now there's three people in here?
Thank you, Your Honor. I guess I should say welcome back.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. Mr. Stark, again, thank you for coming today. I just want to pinpoint a particular area for you. I want you to focus again back on, I think it was December of, you had been called out on a call that evening, is that correct?
That is correct.
And your partner that you worked with that night was Bruce Liverpool, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and I think you told us you went up into the Hollywood Hills where you'd received a call to treat.
That's correct.
And you previously identified, we had a photo up on the screen here, Clarkson, correct? And just once again, what were your injuries?
Bilateral.
Okay. And you have a clear recollection of this, do you not?
Yes, I do.
Okay. In regards to inebriation or being under the influence of alcohol, and I know we've asked this of you before, but would you mind telling the jury one last time, hopefully, what was your opinion as to Miss Clarkson's inebriation or being under the influence of alcohol that evening?
I believe her to be under the influence of alcohol due to the odor of ethanol on her breath, as well as her slurred speech and her demeanor.
Okay. Now, as I understand it, you were junior to Mr. Liverpool that evening, is that correct?
That is correct.
But you weren't junior in terms of how long you had been employed as a firefighter, is that right?
Objection, this is leading.
I'm going to allow it. I believe it's really foundational. The amount of time has been testified to, so I'll allow it.
Thank you. That means you can answer.
I had been a firefighter for a year, but a paramedic 4 years prior to being with the LAFD.
Okay. And
Well, based on that answer, I would object to and then move to strike.
It appears to be that doesn't match up with the question that you asked.
it doesn't. I'll take another. I'll frame another question.
All right,
Let's withdraw that one.
All right.
Okay. Let me ask it this way and come at it this way. Who was attending to Miss Clarkson in the ambulance?
Prior to transport, I was taking care of her, and then during transport, that is firefighter paramedic Liverpool.
Okay, so the break point is once the vehicle got rolling with her in the back, correct?
That is correct.
So he was in the back with Miss Clarkson, and you were driving, is that right?
That is correct.
All right. Now, while he was in the back, was there some sort of PA system or speaker system in that particular vehicle that was hooked up with Base Hospital?
There is a base hospital radio in the back, yes.
Okay. What about in the front, in the cabin where you were driving?
There is a radio there, however, it's a simultaneous switch. That's where just because you turn on the back, the front doesn't automatically turn on. That only happens now with our new type of radios.
Okay, but back then in '01, we're talking some 6 years ago, it was a different radio system, correct?
Correct.
All right. When firefighter Liverpool made the call to Base Hospital, where was he?
He's in the back of the ambulance.
Where were you?
I was in the front of the ambulance driving.
Okay. Your concentration was on what since you were driving?
Since we were driving to the hospital, my concentration is driving and making sure that we get a safe transport for the patient.
Okay. Did you, as you were driving, the vehicle is now moving, all right? You're heading towards Cedars-Sinai. You're driving, Ms. Clarkson's in the back being attended to by Mr. Liverpool. Did you hear Mr. Liverpool state in any transmission that Lana Clarkson had not consumed any alcohol and did not appear to be under the influence of alcohol?
No, I did not hear him say anything like that.
If you had heard that, and it was in the course of the transmission between Mr. Liverpool, who was attending to Ms. Clarkson, and Base Hospital, which we now know, of course, was Cedars, what would have you done?
Normally, when we both work as a team, one other paramedic will tell the other paramedic the things that are not seen, and you'll, in retrospect, tell the other person, hey, you know, exactly what's going on. No, they are under the influence of alcohol, so that they can get the story straight when they make contact.
Okay, so in this instance, You did not hear Mr. Liverpool speak with Base Hospital about Ms. Clarkson being under the influence, correct?
Correct.
If you had heard him tell Base Hospital that she wasn't under the influence, would you just turn to the jury and tell them what you would have done?
I would have told my partner that yes, she was. I did smell it, and that also changes the course of the Base Hospital report that we're going to give.
Just one other area briefly. I assume that there is a volume control on that particular radio that's hooked into Base Hospital?
That is correct.
Do you have any recollection today? I know it's 6 years ago, but do you have any recollection today of where it was set?
No, I do not.
But you do know that you didn't hear it?
Correct.
Court's indulgence just for a moment, please, Your Honor. Thank you, sir. I have nothing further.
Thank you. Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor. The standard of care, the standard of medical care dictates, according to your testimony, that if someone is under the influence of alcohol and you notice it, you don't push morphine. Correct?
According to who?
The standard of care that you employed or you were employing in 2001. If she knew she was, in other words, what you're trying to tell Mr. Rosen in answer to his question, the reason you would have spoken up, Mr. Stark, is because
You can use peppermint oil to get rid of ants? How? You just put the peppermint oil down wherever you have ants? Because we have an ant infestation right now. Like, we have put Raid everywhere in my kitchen. Like, we have got to scour it now because there's Raid all over my cabinets. You just put the peppermint oil. I need an answer, Wiggles. Okay, go. Bye. Love you.
the standard of medical care that you were providing dictated that if she was under the influence, it changes the nature of the medical care you're providing.
Well, objection. Excuse me. Objection. The term standard of care is vague the way the question is framed.
All right, let me find out. Do you understand standard of care as it's being used in the court?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, the objection's overruled.
Answer, sir?
Yes, please.
The standard of care with the patient being under the influence of alcohol does not change the standard of care. All it does is change the base hospital report so that the hospital is notified that the patient is under alcohol or under the influence of alcohol. Alcohol is not a contraindication to morphine.
You, in fact, would have spoken up and corrected Mr. Liverpool had you heard him say she was not under the influence, if, in fact, you had heard him say that.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
We do it every day.
And why, I guess my question is this, and maybe I used the wrong phrase with standard of care, why would you have felt the need to correct him?
Because it's pertinent information when you're making a base hospital report, because it determines the patient's level of consciousness as well as the treatment that the patient's going to get at the ER, whether they're going to run blood toxicology reports and things like that.
In fact, I assume from that answer that it would have been relatively important to make sure that you have that information is provided, if in fact you saw that Ms. Clarkson was under the influence. That's obviously why you would have spoken up.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does, you answered a question to Mr. Rosen just a second ago that there was a series of events you were attending. Just bear with me. It's the big truck with all the medical supplies in it that you were driving that night, all right? The rig, I guess is another way to put it. You were driving the rig once it was in transport, correct?
That's correct.
You were not driving the rig or seated in the cab of the rig at the point that you were attending Ms. Clarkson, correct?
I was seated in the back to provide primary assessment care, secondary assessment, and then Bruce followed up with the final treatment with the morphine. I did everything prior to that. That's what the driver does.
Okay, and you didn't proceed into the cab until you guys began transport, correct?
I didn't proceed into the cab. We did treatment on scene, followed up with other care in the back of the ambulance, and then once we determine that we're leaving, we know what facility we're going to, I go to the front, the attendant stays in the back, and assumes care as well as does the paperwork en route to the hospital.
Okay, perfect. So what you're saying is if the patient is in the back, you're maintaining a position close to the patient, close to your partner, both on scene. Then when the patient is transported from the scene into the back of the rig, you maintain relatively close contact, doing whatever you were doing. I think you said you put in a saline lock, for instance.
Yes.
All right, and you're attending to that patient. Once she is stabilized, at that point, you physically get out of the back of the rig, walk to the cab of the rig, start the motor, and start the transport.
Yes, and in the front, we are separated either by a door that's open or closed, or there'd be a window that's about 12 by 12. That's the only area that you can either speak through or hear through.
All right. And that's documented through the course of your report when you begin transport, et cetera, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right, it's relatively important to document those things because you need to know how long it's going to take you to get to the location, Cedars-Sinai in this case, correct?
Correct, and it all depends if we're going code 3 or code 2 as well.
Okay, but ultimately when you say begin transport, that's the time at which you actually get out of the back, get in the cab, and begin driving.
Correct, when we leave scene.
All right. By the way, let me change gears for a quick second. Why did you insert a saline lock in Ms. Clarkson?
Saline lock is an IV access.
Excuse me.
This is going way beyond the scope.
It may be related, and I can't know until I hear one or two more questions, and then I can make a determination. So temporarily,
If you need an offer of proof, I'll be glad to.
no, temporarily the objection's overruled.
Why did you
For IV access to give Ms. Clark.
because you knew that there was going to be a request for morphine.
We knew we were going to request.
All right. And you didn't say anything about Ms. Clarkson being under the influence to Mr. Liverpool at that point, did you?
There's no point.
Why?
Well, as far as me speaking about alcohol to Bruce about the morphine being pushed, that was before he even made his base report. We have standing field treatment protocols. We think ahead and we anticipate what our orders will be. I had not known that he was going to say that she was not under the influence because he pushed morphine after we had left the scene.
You're sure about that?
Yes, sir.
What time did you arrive to the scene that night?
I do not recall. I don't see how the 9:02 a.m.
Just happen to have one.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that.
Can we,
What?
Just happened to
Oh,
happen.
it's Mr. Rosen. I think it's worthy of an objection.
it's an exhibit, but I'm going to go ahead and approach because it's such a bad,
We have an exhibit.
I think it's going to be next in order. If
it's
gonna
such
be
a
marked.
bad copy.
It previously marked, it's marked.
Okay.
If I may have the floor.
I think it could be E4. E4. Okay.
Mayor,
You may.
thanks. There you go. Take a look. That's a horrible copy, Mr. Stark, and I apologize. The one that's on the board may be a little better. Oh, Jim? Oh, yeah, if you don't mind. Oh, it's multiple pages? Yeah, maybe multiple pages. Thanks, take a look. Yeah, I think I'm going to be stuck with the elbow, Judge. We can't seem to locate it. I apologize. If I could borrow that real quick.
Sure.
And I'll freeze an image up on the screen, but I'll give it back to Mr. Stark. Oh, look at that. Not a great copy, but there you have it. Is there an indication as to the time that you arrived on scene?
Time on scene here looks about 23:12 hours.
And that appears in the upper left quadrant of the, if we can increase the size of that, kind of bad quality, but if you look right there, is that where you're looking?
Yes.
Okay, 2312, where I'm indicating with my laser pointer. Relatively important to maintain some level of accuracy with regard to what time you get to someplace, what time you leave someplace, and the conduct in between, correct?
Correct.
And that's because you're actually, in a lot of cases, pushing medication. I mean, people's lives are hanging in the balance. You got to be relatively accurate with your timing, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Sorry.
You arrived on scene at 23:12, and in lay terms, that's what, 11:12?
11:12 p.m.
Okay. Is there an indication as to what time you got out of the back of the cab, got out of the back of the rig and got into the cab to begin transport?
Begin transport says 23:44.
So that would be 11:44 p.m., correct?
Correct.
Did you review the base hospital form in this case?
No, I did not.
Okay. When there is a call for medication, the base hospital form the base hospital has an attendant on the other side of the phone or the other side of the radio receiving information from you or your partner, correct?
Yes, they have an MICN or a physician.
Okay. And that physician is taking down information that comes from you or your partner, correct?
Correct.
It's just as important for that individual to be relatively accurate with his or her times, correct?
Correct.
To make sure that if there's a request for medication or request for drugs of any kind, that's noted very accurately, correct?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, there's a recording that's made of these calls back and forth. Is that right?
That's correct.
Did anybody from the defense team play you the recording in this particular case of Mr. Liverpool calling the base hospital for his call for morphine?
No, I was just subpoenaed this morning.
Okay. So you haven't had a chance to listen to that?
No, sir.
All right. Do you know what time Mr. Liverpool, well, let me come back to this. You indicated to Mr. Rosen on direct examination that Mr. Liverpool made his call for morphine after you left the location, correct?
Not after I left the location, it was in the back. That's what I believe.
You were driving, you said.
That's what I believe, yes.
All right, which means after you left, as you left the location or after you
Or
left.
as I was in the front.
You were in the front driving the rig, so it would have been after 23:44.
No, excuse me, objection, that misstates the evidence.
He just said, as I was in the front. He didn't say anything about driving.
You want to be more precise?
I don't know how I can be, I'll try. You just said that you would have been in the cab, correct?
In the front cab? After leaving the patient and he'll be on the radio, I'll sit in the cab till we get a destination and then we leave.
How long does it take you to get a destination, Mr. Stark?
It all depends on how long the report takes.
Mr. Stark, didn't you just say that you were driving on direct examination? You were driving, not sitting.
That's what I believe.
Let me finish my question.
Okay.
You just said on direct examination you were driving the truck when Mr. Liverpool made the call, correct?
That's what I believe.
People's 57, Your Honor. May I approach?
Yes.
Base hospital form, Mr. Stark. Is there an indication on that base hospital form as to what time Bruce Liverpool made his phone call or his radio call?
It says 23:35.
23:35. How many minutes before 23:44 is that?
9 minutes.
The fact of the matter is, Mr. Stark, according to all the documentation, you were sitting in the back of the rig, sitting right next to Bruce Liverpool, attending to Lana Clarkson when he made that call, weren't you?
That is your assumption.
Sir, I'm asking the question.
That's your assumption. That's not true.
So your testimony is that the call for morphine was made at 23:35, correct?
According to the documentation, yes.
And you were driving the rig at that time, correct?
I was in the front. I believe I was driving, yes.
And you didn't hear that call for morphine
No, I did not.
because you were driving.
That's what I believe, yes.
Yet you didn't leave the location until 11:44 in the evening, correct?
That's correct.
And the call was made 9 minutes before you even left the location. Isn't that right?
According to the documentation, yes.
And didn't you just tell me, Mr. Stark, on the first couple of questions, that right up until the point you get into the front of the cab, you are sitting in the back, right across from your partner or next to your partner, attending to the patient, in this case, Lana Clarkson. Isn't that true?
We do that, yes.
So you would have been seated in the back of the rig, Mr. Stark, according to the documentation that's so carefully laid out. You would have been seated in the back of the rig, right next to your partner, at the time that he was calling for the morphine. Isn't that true?
Objection, compound and argumentative.
Overruled.
Can you repeat that again?
Isn't it true, Mr. Stark, that in fact, when the call was made for morphine, when Bruce Liverpool made that call for morphine, it was 23:35. You were seated in the back of the rig, right next to Lana Clarkson, right next to Bruce Liverpool. You heard the whole thing, didn't you?
Not that I recall, and I did not push the morphine.
Okay, I get that AJ is excited because he gets to impeach a witness, but why does it matter? I don't understand. Why does it matter? This was a Christmas party way before this ever even happened. Like, what does that have to do with whether or not Phil Spector shot her? I don't understand.
Now that you've seen the actual documentation that indicates that you didn't leave or you didn't get in the cab for 9 full minutes after that phone call was made, do you wish to modify or change your testimony in any way?
No, I didn't.
What's the evidence? You can say that.
Slightly different. If you want to rephrase the question, sustain.
Now that you've seen the documentation that indicates that the call for morphine was made by Bruce Liverpool a full 9 minutes before you began transport, all right? Now that you've seen the documentation that basically proves that in your mind, do you wish to modify or change your testimony in any way?
No, I do not. I'd like to point out something to you, if I may.
I'm sure Mr. Rosen will ask you to point that out.
Okay.
That's all I have for this witness.
Redirect.
Point it out. Let's see.
Okay, I'm basically being cross-examined here, and you're trying to state basically that the way I'm taking it is that I'm a liar, and I'm not. You're saying the base hospital report, 23:35 hours is when Bruce called the order in for morphine. However, on this document it says morphine was pushed at 23:23. So if he did that, then that's negligence where he pushed morphine before he should have. So here's differentials in times. The only original times that can actually be made, okay, 23:35, beginning transport time, you'd have to go into the archives with my department to find out exactly when the transport time is documented through OCD and arson. And the documentation of the medications here, 23:23, 23:39, 23:55. So if 23:35 was the time that he requested morphine, why was it pushed to 23:23? Thank you.
Did I ask the question?
He anticipated.
Sorry. I'm sure Mr. Jackson will ask you a question on that.
Yes, you may.
Thank you, Mr. Stark. I'm going to take a moment and put this up on the Elmo so we can go through it with the jury a little bit slower, okay? Susan, you know?
I have it.
You have it? Okay. May I, Your Honor, may I work from here with the...
Yes.
Is that okay?
As long as you don't block the view of the witness.
No.
Okay.
Sorry. Jen, can you please put it up? Okay. Can any of you see that? Okay. Jen, can you try and blow that up? The area that Mr. Stark was just testifying about. Okay. Is that better for all of you? Okay.
It would be lower.
All right.
That's fine.
Why don't you direct Jen where you need to go on this? Because you're right. The phone is...
Down past the comments to the treatment area, where it's over there on the right, where you see NS, MS, MS, MS. To your right?
Keep going to the right, to the right.
Right there.
Right. Up
Just
now.
a little bit up more?
Up.
Seriously,
There. Right there, that whole area. There we go. Now blow that up so all the folks in the jury can see that. There we go. How's that? Good? All right, now let's go through it again. Mr. Stark, could you look at this particular portion of defendant's E to the fourth and please explain when the morphine was pushed?
Okay, according to this documentation on the 902M, morphine was pushed at 23:23 hours, 23:39, and 23:55.
Okay. Now, the 23:23, that's on the second horizontal line, correct?
Yes.
How do you know the morphine was pushed then?
It says MS, morphine sulfate, 4 milligrams.
And what does that mean?
That means that's what the dose was given, because we titrate morphine to pain from
Yeah, Nancy needs to hurry up and get married.
2 to 10 to a max of 20.
Is that your handwriting?
No, that's Bruce, Mr. Liverpool.
Now let's take a look at the line below it, the third horizontal line where it says 23. Read it for me, would you please, Mr. Stark?
23:39 MS, 4 milligrams by team member number 1, which is Bruce Liverpool, IV positive effect, which means it caused some sort of it's a sedative effect.
And that's another push of morphine, right?
Yes,
Okay. And both of those times are before 23:44 hours on that evening, correct?
yes, and it's also, well, one of them is before base contact was ever made.
How do you know that?
Because according to this documentation here that the base hospital form says contact was made at 23:35, which is 11:35 p.m. Morphine was pushed 23:23, so that's 11:23. That would be 12 minutes prior to base contact.
So that medicine was going through that tube and through that needle and into her vein before Liverpool even spoke to base hospital, right?
That's correct.
And the same thing was occurring twice more before you even fired up the engine and went down the hill with her in the back, right?
Correct.
And that's a correct interpretation of this exhibit, isn't it?
That is correct, as well as the indication here for base contact says 139, receiving facility 139. But there was no protocol used here because the protocol documentation was not used for minor trauma with pain. So base contact had to be made in order to push morphine because you need a base order utilizing that you're not using utilizing a protocol right here according to the documentation.
And that's all memorialized right there in front of our eyes, yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, just a couple more questions. You told Mr. Jackson that under the influence doesn't change the standard of care. Remember that a moment ago?
That is correct.
Why not?
Because the standard of care for this young lady, being that she had her fractures, was that she needed pain medication, and that's the course of treatment that we went with to help her so she wasn't in severe pain on the way to the hospital. And as I stated, being under the influence of alcohol is not a contraindication of morphine. It's morphine's contraindications are those that are already under the influence of opiates, abdominal pain of unknown etiology, and there's a couple others off the top of my head I can't remember.
In all the time that you have been a paramedic and a firefighter, is this the only time where morphine has been administered to somebody who's been under the influence of alcohol?
No, we've given morphine to quite a few people, especially people that have been in car accidents or, somebody has taken a fall and broken their femur, which is the largest bone in your leg. We'll give them morphine to help them with pain. That's what the County Department of Health is pushing for, that we be more aggressive with the use of narcotics to help people with pain management in any emergency situation.
And these are people who have ethanol on board?
Yes, sir. It's not a contraindication of morphine.
And just one final area, and I think I can wrap it up in 2 or 3 questions. At no time during this response up into the Hollywood Hills where you assisted Miss Clarkson and brought her to the hospital, did you ever hear Mr. Liverpool say that Miss Clarkson denied the use of alcohol? Is that correct?
No, I did not hear him say that.
And at no time during this response, when you went up to the Hollywood Hills and transported her to Cedars-Sinai, did you ever hear him say that, in his opinion, she did not appear to be under the influence of alcohol? Is that correct?
No, I did not hear him say that.
Mr. Stark, thank you so much for coming today. Nothing further.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Cross.
Either way, Mr. Stark, assuming the morphine was pushed at 23:20, where were you?
If it was 23:20, then I'm on scene.
Where on scene?
Yeah, 23:20, and the time that we're there at her house, we're probably still inside the house right there. It all depends on what's written here and what my partner has done.
Of course, when you get on scene and when you leave, that's documented by, in police lingo, it's called an MDT, a mobile digital terminal. Does the fire department have something like that as well?
We have stuff like that, but not necessarily, because a lot of guys use their watches, or a lot of firefighters use their watches.
Okay. But in this case, there actually is computer-generated documentation to indicate that you were on scene at 23:12 and left scene at 23:44, correct?
That's not a guarantee that that's the accurate time. You have to go back in the archives.
Right. Assuming that's been done, that documentation is correct.
Only if it was done.
Okay. May I have just a moment?
Yes.
All right, but assume for purposes of my questions that, in fact, the on-scene and leaving scene times are correct, 23:12 and 23:44. When this 902M is filled out, it's filled out by the firefighter once he gets back to the fire station, correct? The whole thing is filled out.
No, you fill that out during your course of treatment, transport, and this has to be filled out all the way until when you make your release at the hospital. This should be done. There are no late entries. If you do put a late entry on this, then you have to write late entry, initial it with the time, and...
Oh, no. You can't insult hobbits. And I'm surprised that Jill didn't say that. Did Jill fall asleep? Where's Jill?
then put your late entry in. Because it's a legal binding document, you can't have stuff that's put in there later.
Okay, so let's assume that at 23:20, morphine is pushed. That means the
What do you mean prosecutor? That's AJ. We don't call him prosecutor. We call him AJ. That's our AJ. What do you mean prosecutor? He's just excited.
course of conduct is underway, correct? Somebody is actually...
Sorry, objection. Vague. Course of conduct is on its way.
I think I understand. Do you understand what he means by course of conduct?
You trying to say negligence or?
No. In that case, the objection is sustained.
No. The morphine. The morphine, Mr. Stark.
Yes.
All right. And according to you, that these could be, by the way, these could be estimates. These 2320, 2323, and 2339, 2355.
Those could be estimates, yes, by his watch.
Okay.
Because if we're not in the ambulance, then people are going to use their watches.
All right, fine. So assuming that those are estimates, there's one document that isn't an estimate, and that's 2338. That's the base hospital form that shows when the actual call was made to the base hospital for morphine, correct?
That's what base hospital form shows?
And either way, Mr. Stark, notwithstanding the estimated times that the stuff was actually pushed, either way, you were seated in the back of that rig along with Mr. Liverpool, along with Lana Clarkson, at the time that the call was made, correct?
At the time the call was made?
At the time the call was made to the base hospital.
In the indications for the morphine, we weren't even on scene 9 minutes. So whether Bruce made contact by cell phone or by radio, I don't remember that. And if I would have heard the thing about alcohol, I would have told him.
But you do know, now that you've seen the documentation, that your original testimony to Mr. Rosen, that you were driving the truck when he made the call for morphine, that is incorrect.
That's what I believed. And now that I see this, irregardless, I did not hear his radio report, and I did not tell him about the alcohol. I didn't hear him say anything about the patient not being under the influence of alcohol. I believed that I was driving, yes.
And now that you know that that's wrong, correct?
According to the documentation here, then we hadn't left yet, and he was pushing morphine.
And you were sitting right there while the call was being made at 20.
That is not true. I don't know if he was standing next to me with the cell phone or what, or if he was on the base hospital radio. Don't try and make me out to be a liar.
I would move to strike that.
That's stricken.
And ask the witness be admonished not to editorialize and simply answer the questions that are asked of him.
Well, Your Honor.
Excuse me. Sir, just answer the questions. Don't volunteer any.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, you may proceed.
The base hospital form indicates that it was made by radio transmission, didn't it?
Radio transmission can either be by radio or by cell phone. Base contact is base contact.
And of course, there's a recording of this that you never bothered to listen to, correct?
Objection, that's argumentative.
The way it was phrased is then.
There's a recording of this that you never actually listened to, correct?
I was never given the opportunity.
Don't you think that would have been important before you testified?
Excuse me, I'm going to object to that. Argumentative.
Overruled.
As I said, I was subpoenaed this morning.
And you didn't ask for the opportunity to maybe listen to the recording of the tape of the call that Bruce Liverpool made to the base hospital?
No, objection. That's not evidence that he even knew we had it.
The bottom line, I think it's been covered as to whether he's listened to the tape, so I think that's pretty clear at this point.
Okay.
All right.
Now that you've seen the documentation, your testimony has changed that you agree that you were with Bruce Liverpool and Lana Clarkson before you were driving when that call was made, correct?
Objection asked and answered.
Overruled. You may answer the question.
Is that correct?
That I would be on scene. I believe that I was driving, but judging by the documentation that I was on scene, but I was nowhere near the radio. I did not hear him say anything that the patient was not under the influence of alcohol. Judging by this documentation, then yes, I was on scene. That doesn't necessarily mean that I heard anything that he said.
That's all I have, Judge.
Thank you.
He just got subpoenaed this morning. He testified in this trial before. What does he mean he just got subpoenaed this morning? He might have just got subpoenaed to testify again, but he's already testified. Shouldn't he have already reviewed all the evidence pertaining to his part of this case?
If the morphine push time could be approximate, so could the time that, according to this, you left the scene. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And who wrote those times in there? Not you, right?
Correct. Bruce Liverpool.
Now, you indicated that there were two different ways to estimate time. Is that right?
That's correct.
And I think you said one of the ways that time was be estimated was by Mr. Liverpool's watch, correct?
Correct.
I mean, this is going to sound like a silly question, but I assume you didn't set his watch that day, did you?
No.
You didn't even see his watch that day, I assume, did you?
No.
So you don't know if he said it correctly or incorrectly, right?
Correct.
And it was him who was filling out the form and doing all the writing, correct?
Correct.
You also indicated that the conversation with Base Hospital could either be by radio transmission or by cell phone, right?
That's correct.
You don't know in this instance whether he used the radio or he used his cell phone, correct?
Correct.
Because you didn't hear him.
Correct.
When you indicated to Mr. Jackson that you did not hear him say that Ms. Clarkson denied the consumption of alcohol and that he did not believe that she was under the influence, were you lying?
No, I was not.
Thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Recross.
Your Honor, I'd like to mark his people's next in order.
196, I think.
196?
Let me double check. No, it's 195, I'm sorry.
195?
Yes.
Does it have a basement?
Your Honor, may we approach?
You may. You may.
Thank you. Tell me if you recognize what that document is. Don't read anything off of it, just tell me, do you recognize what it is and what it purports to be?
You know, I was thinking the same thing because healthcare workers don't really throw each other under the bus like that. You know they say about the thin blue line, with police. Healthcare workers are kind of the same way. Like we wouldn't lie for each other, but we don't really throw each other under the bus either. I mean, there have been times where there's been interpersonal relationships with one another that aren't good, and we might, but on the whole, we don't, So, yeah, Mr. Liverpool is going to have some words from Mr. Stark.
I've never seen one of these before, but according to this,
No, just, do you actually recognize the document itself?
no, I do not.
There was a nurse that I worked with. Okay, guys, I'm passive aggressive. I don't like confrontations. So there was this nurse. I worked night shift, and this woman worked the day shift, so she came after me, and she complained every day that I didn't restock the medication cart. So when she came on shift the next morning, she had to restock all of the little medicine cups and whatever stuff, drinking cups. And so one morning I had some extra time in the morning to restock the cart. And I restocked it so much that you couldn't get the door open. And I did it on purpose. So when she got there the next morning, I gave her a report. And before I left, I stood there and I watched her try to open that door. She couldn't get it open. And then I left and I went, bye, y'all.
All right.
I just have one other question. Do you recognize any of the coding on that particular document?
I'll allow the question.
I recognize the incident number 1001.
How about is there a unit number, like a rig number?
At this point, I'm not letting the document in. We're just trying to find out if he recognizes certain things without, there's one specific thing I'm not going to allow in. So the question is, do you recognize the rig number?
Trying to find it, Your Honor. Okay, yeah, Rescue 27.
Okay.
All right, 27.
And was that the rig number that you were on Bruce Liverpool on December 24th, 2001?
Yes, it was.
All right. Without telling me what they are, Mr. Stark, very important, without telling me what they are, do you recognize any of the times, specifically the highlighted times? Do you recognize them? That's yes or no?
Yes, I do recognize them.
Excuse me, I'm going to propose another objection. There was no foundation for this.
At this point, Mr. Rosen, he's just indicating whether or not he recognizes certain times without any further testimony. At this point, there's an insufficient foundation for the document itself, and I don't think he's supplying that. So the bottom line is, that's as far as it's going in this limited fashion. The objection's
And I just have
overruled.
one other question in this area. And
Yes.
we can address the foundation at a later time. Just with regard, and again, don't tell me what the times are, or the time codes or whatever. Do you recognize those times as comporting with times that appear on the 902M?
I see that, however, I see two transport times. One, well, I'm not going to say the time because you don't
All
want
I'm
me to.
asking you is, do you recognize two of those times comporting with the 902M?
Yes, however, there's two different.
Is that yes or no, Mr.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to let him explain. Is there more
I'm
than,
afraid that he's...
is there more than one transport time, yes or no?
Yes, sir, there's two.
All right, next question, if any.
And that's all I have.
Thank you. Redirect.
Yeah, approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Just a couple questions. Your Honor, may we look at this together since I don't have it? Sure. That's the only copy I know.
You don't mean me, you mean you and the witness, right?
Well, you're welcome to join us, but I don't think I need you for this.
Thank you, but no.
Okay. Mr. Stark, you indicated there's two transport times on this, is that correct?
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Here, let me... And I don't want you to tell us what the times are, but just they're different times, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And you did not author this document, correct?
No, I did not.
And you don't know what it is, right?
No, I do not.
You've never seen one like this, is that right?
Correct.
Okay. You've been with the fire department for how long?
Almost 7 years.
And you've been a paramedic how long?
It's going to be 12 here.
At this time, I have no further questions.
All right, subject to recall, you're excused. Thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Step down. We're going to take a break. Do you have Wood after the break? Yes, we do. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, keeping in mind the admonition, we'll be in recess for 15 minutes. Thank you.
I need a bigger desk.
Or not, and somebody wanted to see me?
Yeah, Your Honor.
All right.
We have a couple sort of I just wanted to hear, well, I talked to Mr. Rosen about the first witness, to Ms. Hanson, and we talked about what the focus or essence of her testimony, because of this testimony, is that she was at the frame with the whole Michael Bay. She never recognized her from a photo at, I think, Pumpkin Pie's house. Lana Clarkson at all about anything personal, and yet she's going to give us opinions that at some point she walked around across the room and she was upset and distressed. I just don't think there's any foundation for that, and if that's the case, there's no reason for her to testify.
Well, it depends. When you say distress, sometimes that takes interpretation and sometimes it's visible. What is she going to testify to?
And she will say she wasn't crying. So, I mean, we all could tell if somebody was crying and then determine that they were upset or distressed, not crying.
StreamYard, what are you doing? StreamYard just crashed for no reason.
Thank you. Mr. Rosen?
Yes, Your Honor. Miss Hanson, and that's spelled, by the way, Henso. Okay. Yes, Miss Hanson was at the party. She met Pi earlier that night. The two of them went to the Jeff Franklin party together. They were there. Lana was at the party sometime during the course, and there's a number of people. I think she said, a couple hundred people. During the course of the evening, at some point, she'd already met Lana. Lana came running over to her. Lana wasn't crying, that's true, but she was upset and she was distressed, and she said, "Where's Pi? I've got to find Pi," and off she goes to find Pi. And presumably, that corroborates what Pi said, because the next step is that we do have Ms. Laughlin. She's going to be testifying to that event again. And also the fact that Ms. Hanson, would indicate that she remained at the party, I think she said for a couple more hours, and then checked with Pumpkin Pie before Pumpkin Pie left to make sure that she had a ride home, and then Lana drove her home. And she checked with Lana to make sure she had a ride home. So it really goes to weight, not to admissibility, and it does corroborate what Ms. Laughlin has said, that in fact this did occur. Mr. Bay has denied it. He's come in the rebuttal case. He said, I did not disrespect Ms. Clarkson that evening. This corroborates, in fact, that
How does this corroborate that it's Mr. Bayer? I don't understand. First of all, when you say that she's going to say she was distressed, what is she going to testify to so I can make a determination whether it's objectionable on grounds of speculation or whatever? You really haven't told me. She's not crying. That doesn't mean that doesn't exclude her. What specifically is she going to say as to why she's drawing a conclusion she was stressed or distressed?
Her manners, her voice, the inflection in her voice, and the fact that she was somewhat frenetic at the time. And I think it's a lay opinion, but it's a lay opinion that can be reached for something like this. I'm not asking for anything psychological or psychiatric. It's something that lay people give opinions about people being distressed and upset all the time.
Sure, and sometimes it's admissible and sometimes it's not, depending upon what the testimony is as to whether it is clear or someone is providing interpretation. So maybe we need to hear from her outside the presence of the jury.
Sure, well, we can do that.
Okay?
Second is, and I think that we can do this a little quicker, is that Jennifer Hayes is returning, and rather than try to make an offer of proof because it's somewhat upsetting is what's in this report. If it's okay with the defense, I would just give you a copy of the latest report that we got. Our objection is that it's not relevant, it's outside the scope of their Sir rebuttal case, and it shouldn't be presented.
Okay, let me see.
May I, Cook?
Yes, you may.
And excuse, I do have some highlighting on this.
It's all right.
Your Honor, actually, there's two reports on Miss Hayes. And we did discover it out to Mr. Ocampo.
Give me
Actually got it back in number.
Give me anything you want.
Actually, yeah.
And along with the notes. Mr. Dixon, do you want to, should I just hand it to you?
Please. Whatever it is, it is.
Thank you. Swear her in, please.
Please raise your right hand to be sworn. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the trial now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Thank you. Please be seated in the witness stand. Please state and spell your first and last name for the record.
Tanara Hansen, Tanara Hansen, A-E-N.
Okay, you may proceed.
Mrs. or Ms.?
Mrs.
Mrs. Hanson. Okay.
Just get to the relevant portions straight away, so I'm just trying to make a determination whether she has a basis on which to testify.
Okay, so you just,
I don't want any foundation. I just want, get to the night in question, go
Okay.
right to it.
all right.
Thank you.
Directing your, I'm sorry, Your Honor?
Go ahead.
Directing your attention to January of '03. Did you go to a party given by Jeff Franklin, actually a birthday party, with pumpkin pie?
Yes.
Okay. And do you remember arriving at the party?
Yes.
Okay. And sometime during the evening, did you meet Lana Clarkson?
Yes.
And after you met her at a later time, did Miss Clarkson come up to you?
Yes.
Okay. And did she appear to be in...
Overrule. I just want to get right to the subject.
That's what I thought you wanted me to do.
That's what I want you to do.
Okay. And when she came up to you, did she appear to be upset and distressed?
Yes.
All right. And would you just tell the judge what you mean by that?
I was standing by myself at the back at the party, and she came to me kind of rushed, and she was distressed, and she asked me, "Where's the pie?" And please forgive me, the family, but she seemed really rude to me, and that's kind of what I felt, and I was just like, what the hell, you know? And then I just kind of pointed in the direction. That's where she just rushed by, to go to.
Other than where's the pie and her rudeness, what makes you say she was distressed?
Because she came like rushed, and she was kind of sighing like this. Oh, that's what she did. And that kind of really like put the stop at the party for me, because I wasn't really in a festive mood, and just seeing her doing that to me was just a little bit distressed. That I could say she was.
Okay.
I don't know why though. She didn't tell me.
It's up to you. I think I've heard all I need to hear. If there's someplace else you want to go, you should go there, because right now it would be a no. So if there's more you want to draw out, go ahead.
Okay. You indicated she sighed. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Our reporter has to take it down. Okay. And how long was she in your presence? Just a matter of a few seconds?
Yes.
Okay. And when you pointed in the direction of where pie was, did she go off in that direction?
Yes.
Hurriedly or slowly?
Not slowly. She was on a mission.
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's not called for
This is okay. It's outside the presence. I just want to hear what she has to say.
Okay. And she went immediately off to pie, is that correct, as far as you know?
That's all I know. I just pointed, and there she went to whatever she was going to.
All right. Before she came up to you, you had previously met her, correct? At the party?
Very briefly.
Okay. And how is her demeanor, her disposition, how was she at that time when you met her briefly versus moments later or minutes later or hours later when she came up and you described her as being upset and distressed? How was it different?
Lana was a very happy person, so when we first saw her, it was a party. She had just arrived. I think she was just seeing who was there. She was, happy, I guess, to see Pi, and I didn't really know her, so we just said hello, and then later on in the party, she seemed, it was definitely different, the way she was acting when she came asking me where Pi was and when I first met at the party.
Okay. And this was like in the middle of the party, correct, when she came running up?
I didn't stay that long, so to me, maybe I stayed there for 2 hours, and so it was right before I left. So maybe it was by, an hour, because she got there after we did.
All right. What did you hear or see in her manner when she came up to you and asked you where the pie was that causes you to use the terms upset and distressed?
Well, that would be my opinion of how she, because as I said before, I didn't really know her, but that was the impression to me that she was like signing and just a little bit upset. That was, that's why I said rude, but I knew that she was upset. You can see it in someone's face when they come to you, and she said, "Where is Pi?" And I was like, she's there,
Indicating for the record that there was, I guess we could say, some intensity in Mrs. Hanson's face when she said that with her hands in front of her. Okay. Okay. And you'd seen people upset and distressed in your life before that time in January of 2003, correct?
Of course, yes.
Okay. And she behaved similarly to those folks?
Yes.
Court's indulgence for a moment, please. No further questions, Your Honor.
Thank you. Anything for the people?
Do you need, I know the court...
Well, I'm prepared to make a ruling, and it's going to be yes to certain things and no to other things.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. Can you step down and just step in the hallway? You can be called back in a second. Okay, thank you. All right, the witness may be called. She may testify that she was at the party, that she saw Lana at the party, because I suppose it could be argued that because of Mr. Bay's testimony, Lana wasn't even there that night. This places her there, and that's legitimate rebuttal. She can testify as to her, that she was happy when she first saw her. She can testify as to what she actually did and how she said it. The term, however, distressed and upset, she is providing that on her own. So she can actually testify to what was said, how she said it, and that's fine, and the jury can draw its own interpretations of that.
The only thing I would add to that is the defense has proffered a stipulation from Mr. Fisher, I think, to address that very thing, that Lana Clarkson was actually at the party, and we're prepared to stipulate to that. We just haven't gotten to it yet. So if that's the overriding portion of
Well, there's a change in demeanor which the witness can testify to, and I'll allow her to do that without using the words that are actually conclusions or speculations, because she can testify to the change in demeanor and that she was present.
May I just have one moment with her to explain to her what she's not
Sure.
to say?
In the meantime, let's get the jurors in.
So no up.
All right, the jurors and alternates are now present. Do you have a witness you wanted to call? I think the answer is yes. I divine a yes. Mr. Rosen, do you want to call your next witness?
Thank you. Sure, Your Honor.
All right.
I know you're just waiting.
All right.
We call Tanara Hanson.
Please Raise your right hand to be sworn. You do solemnly swear that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you. Please be seated. Please state and spell your name for the record.
Tanara Hanson, Tanara, Hanson, Henson.
Thank you. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mrs. Hanson, good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here today. Appreciate you coming. You've been subpoenaed here today, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. I want to turn your attention, ma'am, if I may, back to the year 2003, and more specifically, I want to direct your attention to the first part of the year 2003, in particular the month of January, okay? And as I understand it, at that time, you knew somebody by the name of Pumpkin Pie, is that right?
Yes.
And as I understand it, in that month, you and Pumpkin Pie went somewhere, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And it was somebody's birthday party you went to, is that right?
Yes.
And whose birthday party was it?
Jeff Franklin.
Okay. And did you arrive at the birthday party with Miss Pie?
Yes.
All right. And about what time was that? Do you remember? I don't mean precisely, just approximately.
Around 10 o'clock at night, because we were in another place before.
Okay. And it was just you and Pumpkin Pie who arrived together,
Yes.
is that right? Mm-hmm. Is that yes?
Yes, that's a yes.
I'm sorry. I should have cautioned you before we started. Just a couple of things. It's okay.
It's my first time.
Are you a little nervous?
No, yeah.
You've been subpoenaed here today, correct? Okay. Just two things. We can't talk at the same time,
Okay.
and you can't say and You have to say yes or no.
Yes.
There you go. Okay. And when you arrived at the party, was the party at a residence or a hotel or
A residence.
All right. And approximately where was the residence?
Up on Hollywood Hills. I don't remember the name of the street correctly.
Okay. In the city and county of Los Angeles?
Yes.
It's okay. You get 3 or 4 more times before the judge gets angry with you. All right. And when you arrived at the party, did you and Pumpkin Pie enter the residence?
Yes.
And was it a small gathering or some, you could say a soiree, or was it a large party or what?
It was a large party.
A lot of people?
A lot of people.
Okay. And at some time shortly after you arrived, did you meet another individual, a friend of Pumpkin Pie's?
Yes.
And was that a man or a woman?
A woman.
Okay. And would you tell the jury who that was?
That was Lana Clarkson.
Okay. Lana Clarkson?
Yes.
All right. And when you met her at that time, why don't you just tell us how she appeared to you?
Well, I saw her before with Pumpkin Pie previous to the party, so she had just arrived there, and I guess like everybody, she was looking around and saying hello and smiling, and then we said hello, and me and Pumpkin went to have dinner. It was great food. It was a beautiful party, and I don't know what she just
All right.
dispersed. We dispersed.
But there was no question in mind that she was at this party, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And I want to show you a picture, okay? And I want you to take it. We'll put it up on the screen there in a moment, and I want you to take a look at it, all right? Jen, could we have defendants O to the 8th? Okay. Do you see that photo?
Yes.
And do you see Lana in that picture?
Yes.
And which is Lana?
The one on the right.
As we're looking at the photo.
The blonde woman?
Okay, so as we look at the photo, the lady to the right.
Yes.
Okay. And do you recognize the individual to her right or our left?
That's Pumpkin Pie.
That's Pumpkin Pie. Okay. And this is the lady who you indicated that you saw shortly after arriving at Jeff Franklin's party in January 2003, correct?
Correct.
And Pumpkin Pie is the person up on the screen who you arrived with, right?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Jen. And you remained at the party for a while, is that right?
About 2 hours and a half, maybe.
Okay. And just before you left, or close to the time that you left, did you see Lana again?
Yes.
Why don't you just turn to the jury and tell them how you saw her and what happened?
Well, I was just standing by myself because Pumpkin Pie was talking to other people, and I wasn't really having a good time. And then she came to me and she asked me, "Where's the pie?" Like, really, where's the pie? Very distressed, it seemed to me, and that.
The term distressed is stricken. The jury's admonished to disregard it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Mrs. Hanson, let's do it this way, okay? We don't want you to state any of your conclusions. What we want you to do is just share with the jury what you observed Lana to do and what Lana said, okay? Just in other words, we want you to kind of be like our scribe, if you will. How she came up to you, and when she came up, what she said to you, and then what happened, okay?
Okay, so with no emotions added to it, I would say that she came to me and she signed, and she strongly, can I say that?
Well, what you can do is, if you can state it the way she stated it, you can repeat what she said the way she said it, that's fine.
Okay,
In other words, excuse me, thank you. In other words, what the judge is saying is, you can demonstrate. You can actually demonstrate for the jury.
But that would be kind of my opinion, or just...
No, just,
Okay.
Hold on a minute, I'm going to try to make it real easy. I'm going to be you, okay? We're going to do a little demonstration here. With course permission.
Yes.
I'm going to be you, okay?
Okay.
You're going to be Lana.
Okay.
All right? I want you to come down. And I want you to play the role of Lana.
Okay.
All right? And show the jury exactly what Lana did, all right? We're at the party. I'm you, and you're Lana.
I was standing right next to a table there, and
All right, how about this table? I'll use Mr. Jackson, Mr. Dixon's table. Is that good? Or you put me where you want
She
me.
came from this side. I was looking at the stage.
Well, I'm
I
you.
was by myself. And then she
Wait,
came from-
we can't talk about
You know, Mr. Rosen, I don't think the exact placement is important. It's how Lana was that was important, okay? Go ahead.
Go.
So she came to me and she was like this, "Where's pie?" And I looked at her and I thought that she was rude to me because I didn't really know her very well, and I was just like, she's over there. And
You want to take a shot at describing that for the record?
The witness has demonstrated. That's as far as I'm going.
Thank you.
Moving very quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do any better like that. Okay. And she took off quickly, is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you pointed in the direction where Pi was.
Yes.
When she came up to you like that, was she crying?
No.
Okay. And shortly after that, did you then leave the party, I understand it?
Yeah, pretty much. I made sure that Pumpkin Pie had arrived, and then Pie didn't really want to leave with her that night. She's like, "Don't go now," and I was just like, "I gotta go." So I made sure that she was okay, and then Lana was going to give her a ride, but I didn't speak to Lana. And then Pie said, "You can go. That's fine," So I left.
All right, but before you left, you wanted to make sure you were considerate about Pi since you arrived with her.
Sure.
So you checked with Pi to make sure that she had a ride in line.
Yes.
Okay, and Pi confirmed that, and then you were okay to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's a yes.
Yes. Sorry.
So I take it there was a difference, a substantial difference between the way you saw her the first time and the second time at the party.
Yes.
Very substantial.
I'll allow that question if you want to go into it and cross.
Yes, there was a difference.
Okay. And how, well, no, I'm not going to ask that question.
All right.
Okay, may I have the court's indulgence for a moment, please? Just one other question. May I ask it?
Yes.
Did you notice a change in her demeanor between when you first saw her at the party and the second time that you just demonstrated here?
Yes.
And may I ask a question, what that difference was?
You can.
That would be my opinion. As I said, that she was...
Well, she's not going to offer an opinion.
She was different.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
That she was different. Like, can I say that?
No, ma'am, you can't offer an opinion. You can
So
tell us.
she was different than she was when I first saw her. Yes. That's the question.
Well, it does, and I think it's about as far as we can go.
Okay.
All right, cross-examination. Thank you.
Just a couple questions, thanks. Good afternoon, Ms.
Good
Hanson.
afternoon.
This is the first time you'd ever met Lana Clarkson, correct?
To speak to her, yes.
I think you talked with the defense investigator, Tawny Tyndall, is that right?
Yes.
And she made out a report after you talked, is that correct?
Well, I didn't want to talk about it. I didn't want to be involved at all the first time she called, and then I was subpoenaed. So, of course, I had to talk to her.
Okay. And in that report, you told her that that you'd seen a picture of Lana Clarkson's at Pumpkin Pie's house, but this party was the first time that you'd ever really met her or exchanged any words at all, isn't that
Yes.
right? I think you just said here on the stand that you didn't know her very well at all.
That's correct.
Didn't have any real interactions with her, even at the party, other than what you've talked to us about.
That's correct.
First time you saw her, you said hello. Second time she asked you where Pumpkin Pie was. That's right?
Yes.
Isn't that right? And other than that, you really didn't know much about Lana Clarkson or how she acted or how she reacted to things.
I saw her at the parties, at clubs, and, you can see how a person is, because you're observant, if anybody. But no, I have never spoken to her before.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, redirect. All right.
Very brief round. Mrs. Henson, you indicated that you saw Lana previously at clubs, is that correct? Mm-hmm. Is that yes?
Yes. I'm so sorry.
That's the
Forgive me.
that's the second time. The third time, there is a sanction. He takes your cell phone from you. Okay. And when you saw her at clubs previously, was she in the company of Pumpkin Pie?
Yes.
And did they appear to be interacting when you would see her at these clubs?
Yes.
Did they appear to be friends to you?
Yes.
From what your impressions were seeing them together, they appear to be pretty good friends.
Jackson, that call for conclusion impressions.
I'll allow it. The answer is yes, it'll stand.
I'm sorry?
She said yes.
Okay. And did they appear to be having a good time when they were at these clubs previously?
Always. Pretty much.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Thank you. Recross.
Nothing further, Your Honor. We had asked that this witness not be excused, though.
All right, subject to recall, ma'am, you may step down. Thank you for being here.
May I check?
Yes, go ahead.
Can I just check?
Certainly.
Please go. Your Honor, the witness has got previous plans that she's to leave town by next Wednesday, so
By next Wednesday, we'll be finished with
that's what I'm
testimony.
expecting. Okay, I just don't want to.
You notice how firmly I said that?
Experience is a good teacher.
Yes. Is your next witness the one that appears in the reports?
Yes.
I have a feeling that it's going to take a while to talk about outside the presence of the jury, and given the hour, I'm about to let the jury go.
Okay. May I approach just for a moment with Mr. Yes, but I need Mr. Dixon with me, please.
Okay. There's some things that we have to discuss outside your presence, and I'm not going to make you wait, so keeping in mind the examination, we'll see you tomorrow morning at 9:30. You're seeking to recall Jennifer Hayes. There's a lot of things in this report. What is it you expect her to testify to?
Your Honor, yes.
There you go.
I gave you my own copy.
Okay.
I think the colored, the highlighted one's mine.
Well, give Mr.
Top copy there.
No, it may be the bottom copy at this point. Just go over. It's underneath. If you go over there and give Mr. Dixon his copies, you keep yours. There's some matters there that I think belong to him.
Don't want anything that doesn't belong to me. Oh, he's got some very important notes on here. Can I give it to you in 5 minutes?
No worries.
Okay. What is it that you expect her to testify to in rebuttal?
All right. her information
Sorry,
about Millie
Brother
Hudson,
Hudson.
the fact that she met her one time at the backstage within 10 years, the fact that she would see Lana 2 nights a week, sometimes as much as 4 nights a week over a long period of time. The part about in the last year of her life, she was taking pills, Vicodin, Percocet, Valium, using drugs including cocaine, going to Mexico to replace the drugs that she would take from friends' medicine cabinets. The incident at the Jeff Franklin, we're here in paragraph 3 on page 1, about Pi calling her from the party and telling about, as she calls it, Lana's meltdown. And then I talked to her outside about 20 minutes ago, and I immediately told Mr. Dixon that she also said to me, this was the first time I heard this, that when they left the party, Lana and Pi were together, and of course that corroborates what this past witness, Mrs. Hanson just said, and that Pi called from the car and repeated the story about the problem and the disrespect by Michael Bay. And then the next morning before dawn, before sunrise, as she said, she got another call from Pi and repeated the story a third time. Millie Hudson said that the last year she was very spiritual. She was going to the self-realization center. She had really changed her life and turned her life around. She wasn't drinking anymore. She wasn't doing anything anymore. And Jennifer Hayes will say that's not true, that when they say she was spiritual and trying to clean up her life, in that last year she was using more drugs and taking more pills, and she was more depressed than any other time in her life that Jennifer knew her. It was reflected in her behavior as being more desperate, more drinking, more drug taking, and her behavior being more erratic. And the metaphor she uses, it was like sand in an hourglass. Also the part about the job at the House of Blues, that when she took it, yes, she was somewhat excited about it, but when she started it, she absolutely hated it. And she went on to say, I have to pull out chairs for people who I used to beat out for parts, like Shannon Tweed. And then she quotes her saying, you could never do it, speaking to Jennifer Hayes, for $9 fucking an hour. I have my pride, but I have to do this. I have to eat. I can't even pay my bills with that. It doesn't even make a dent. It's so corporate, you would never do it. And the fact that she was sorry. And then the part about loaning her money. And again, Millie Hudson did say she loaned her money, so I don't know what the court wants to do with that, but I would offer, if the court doesn't want it to be admissible, I understand. She wants to talk about miscalculating the length of time that Lana lived at her cottage. If you remember, I think Mr. Dixon crossed her. I'm not positive. I think it was Mr. Dixon, and there were some questions about the length of time that she was living at the cottage. And then the fact that she wanted to have children and she's not having children. The Christmas letter from Pumpkin Pie, she didn't receive it, but she knew that it was sent out, and she had spoken with Pumpkin Pie about it, and as an offer of proof, and I turned that over to Mr. Dixon and Mr. Jackson also, Pumpkin Pie will be talking about that letter, and she will be testifying specifically to that one particular sentence at the end of the first paragraph that Mr. Jackson, I believe it was Mr. Jackson, maybe it was Mr. Dixon, who brought out with Millie Hudson, which was a very derogatory statement about Mr. Spector, and she's going to explain why that was in there. And Jennifer Hayes spoke with Pie about that, and she knows why it's in there.
How does all this testimony from Pye, which appears to be hearsay, come in through Jennifer Hayes? Ms. Pye can certainly testify as to the letter, that specific portion and what she meant, that's fine. How do you bring in testimony from Pye through Jennifer Hayes, because it's hearsay?
Well, it is hearsay, but well, I would say this: it's either it's not hearsay, it's just being offered with a limiting instruction to corroborate what Pye says, or if it is hearsay, it would go to Pye's state of mind as to why she wrote that particular sentence in that letter. I'll let the court make any call on it. It feels is appropriate.
Well, I'm thinking about a lot of the things that you've mentioned appear to be hearsay from Ms. Pye to Ms. Hayes. There's other matters. I mean, I'm sort of, taking this all in and trying to see what, if anything, is admissible and what might not be, but I just want to know which theories are.
Okay. Do you want me to go on and finish?
Yes.
All right. And that Ms. Hayes would indicate that Millie was what they call a daytime friend. That's how Lana described her, as a daytime friend. She didn't really, Lana told her she didn't really confide in Millie. Millie really didn't know about her personal life, that Lana would compartmentalize certain people. and some things she would tell to some people, some things she wouldn't tell to some people. She wanted Millie to be proud of her. She would indicate that whatever Lana shared with her, the truth was exactly the opposite based on her observations of her in the last year of her life. And she indicated that Lana was at the end of her rope and that she was spinning out of control. And finally, I believe it was, I can't remember who put Miss Hudson on. I know that Mr. Bruno did the cross, and I don't recall if it's Mr. Jackson or Mr. Dixon, but I do recall there was testimony about the purse. And Miss Hayes would say that Lana was almost phobia-like in terms of her purse, that she always kept it with her and she wouldn't leave her purse out of sight. And that also dovetails into the testimony of Greg Sims, who said that at the backstage after, it wasn't really a backstage after, but after the backstage on a Tuesday night, I think it was in January, she came to the hotel at the St. Regis in Century City, and when they were talking, she kept her purse near her and close to her on the bed. So that would corroborate that. The rest of it, and I recognize there is, and I recognize there's a lot more in here, but I have intentionally tried to surgically remove the other parts of this, like for example, this whole page I offered nothing off of because I don't think it is proper rebuttal. If we had known about this, maybe it would have been appropriate for the case in chief, but certainly I don't think it's appropriate sur rebuttal. I meant to say sur rebuttal. So those things I did leave out, and that's the general area.
Okay, thank you. People?
Well, I'm happy to go along with whatever the court decides.
Did you guys see that old-fashioned pencil sharpener on the wall? I've not seen a pencil sharpener like that in years. Look, right there. I should have asked y'all if you knew what that was before I said it. Do you guys see it? Right there. Right there. I didn't even know those existed anymore. Look at that pencil sharpener. Oh my God.
So those things I did leave out, and that's the general area.
Okay, thank you. People?
Well, I'm happy to go along with whatever the court decides.
Well, I haven't decided. I want to hear what your position is.
It seems to me that there's a rebuttal case, and yet it's being to corroborate the chief. I don't see how much of this, and maybe we can get specific in a moment, really rebuts our rebuttal case, which is supposed to. The House of Blues, for example, and I won't go into the hearsay because the court's already noted that, but the House of Blues job, I'm pulling out chairs for other people, they've already put that in. That came in their defense case. I just don't see how that specifically rebuts anything. We're just doing the same thing over and over again. The pills and coke.
They're the best pencil sharpeners ever. Ever. I wish I had one. They're so much better than the newfangled electric crap.
Cocaine, I think, are vague as to time. There's no indication in that report, as I recall it, and the court just read it, whether or not what the time frame is in that. And that I think
They said the last year of her life is what was offered.
It's also irrelevant.
I really question why it's relevant either, because
Well, there was testimony that I believe through Miss Hudson, thank you, about the spiritual time and whatnot, which is this is not consistent with that.
the only thing that I think the only thing that's relevant is what's in her system at the time of the offer.
No, because you're the ones that put her on as a witness to basically how she was in the last year of her life. And if there's a witness who's going to testify differently, then that is appropriate rebuttal.
Loaning her money, Hudson loaning her money, how would unless there's a direct offer of proof that Lana said that to Jennifer Hayes, and I think she was asked about those questions about loaning money the first time around. She never said that. That's got to be hearsay from Neely Hudson. I mean, there's no offer of proof as to how we know that. That seems to me to be hearsay also.
Okay.
I'll leave it at that.
Well, I'm going to give you some general guidelines. She certainly can testify. She can testify, assuming, based upon what you've told me, that she's talking about the last year of her life and that Ms. Hayes can place that as to her drug use or whatnot that is inconsistent with other testimony that has been presented as to how she was the last year of her life. That's appropriate. She can testify to the purse. a lot of what you offered is hearsay that I don't see an exception to, so if it's offered and there's an objection, unless you come up with something other than you've done right now, it's going to be sustained. It is being offered for the truth of the matter asserted, and it appears to be hearsay. A lot of the interpretation I see in there about the daytime friends and the nighttime friends, that's based on Ms. Hayes' interpretation.
No, it's what Ms. Clarkson told her.
Well, we'll see. But in any event, those are sort of, she certainly can testify. Anything that rebuts what the people put on in their case in rebuttal, then the sir rebuttal, she can testify to that.
Okay.
If it's matters that could have been placed in when she testified originally, then it depends upon whether there's an objection or not.
That's why I left the line out, because I do believe that in the second report, there was a fair amount of material that really should have been developed before we rested our case, which was developed after, and that's why I didn't offer, because I don't think it is proper surrebuttal.
And does that include the references to Raul Julia?
Oh, the Raul Julia, I assume you're not going there.
Well, it's in the report.
I know. He just said he's not going there. He's not going there.
Not even on the radar screen.
Thank you.
Yeah, one of the things is that in the recent emails we got, there is a Jennifer Hayes email where Lana Clarkson refers to Jennifer Hayes along with Dr. Goldenson, and I think that's...
It's something that the discovery came in, obviously.
Yes.
This was recently given over as discovery, then that's appropriate to go into it, obviously.
Very good.
The question I've got, and I keep coming back to this.
Okay.
Stuff about cocaine use. First of all, I don't think it properly rebuts anything that Neely Hudson said.
Well, you
Neely
need to
Hudson
go-
was specifically called to rebut the idea that Lana Clarkson was this person with a foot in the grave and the other on a banana peel.
What date did she, here, I can find out what date she testified. I'll review Ms. Hudson's testimony to see whether it's appropriate rebuttal.
And if I could follow up on that thought,
Okay.
the only thing that I see in this report, and the reason that I think this is going down a very slippery slope, or very slimy slope maybe, the cocaine references in this report are connected to Raul Julia. I mean, according to, it's very vague, but Jennifer said, quote, Lana and Raul Julia, blah, blah, blah. There's no indication how Jennifer Hayes would ever know this, and it appears to be, unless it's fleshed out, rank hearsay.
Sir, if I could just, if you read the rest of it, it says, regarding drug use, Jennifer said, quote, Lana and Raul Julia Levy did cocaine together, and the rest of the quote reads, Lana did cocaine with a bunch of people, close quote. You didn't read that part of it. And
That's what I'm concerned with.
Yeah, it depends upon the basis of her knowledge. If she wasn't there when it was being done, then you're going to have some problems.
Absolutely. If she wasn't there, there's no question that it becomes problematic. But if she witnessed it and saw it, that's a different story.
All right, I've got her testimony appears in volume 52. I'll take it home and read it. What else did I have to do tonight?
That's it.
All right.
I just read it.
It's okay.
You probably want to read it for yourself, because I just did read it.
All right, I'll take a look at it. Anything else?
I'm sorry. No.
Okay.
Just on,
Go ahead, Mr. Rosen.
I'm just sorry. I don't want to cut off.
Sorry, no, go ahead.
I just want to say tomorrow, in terms of witnesses, we will have from my chair 2 and possibly 3.
Okay, who?
Mary Goldenson, Pumpkin Pie, and we are, I think, Catherine Bainbridge, and I think we are supposed to be ironing out a stipulation on Jeff Franklin.
Well, we're not going to need it now. The stipulation was that Lana was at the party. It's just been established.
I'll take a look at the report tonight. Mr. Jackson may be.
It just may be easier to...
Okay, that's who you have on tap. Who do you have after that?
Dr. Spitz.
Okay,
Spitz is coming back?
I think they announced that quite
Okay,
some time
and
ago.
that's it. So I think other than Jennifer Hayes.
When are you going to have Dr. Spitz here? Tomorrow? You think well get through all these witnesses tomorrow?
Oh, yes, I do.
Are there any reports on Dr. Spitz, or are they forthcoming?
Well, I think I gave a verbal, but we're going to go talk to him right now. He just came in, and we're going
Okay.
to go over that, and we'll let you know.
So other than Jennifer Hayes, our expectations are hopefully that we can wrap it up tomorrow.
Okay, and, all right, okay,
Oh, and we have some emails we need to read.
okay.
Housekeeping.
The emails you went over are approved. Okay.
It sounds like testimony, I'm going to, given the history of the case, I would say it's more than likely we would probably finish testimony on Monday, it sounds like. Okay,
The only other thing I'll leave the court with, I'm making you a clean copy of the pumpkin pie report. Same issues are addressed there. I mean, this is slathered with a lot of information that I believe is irrelevant. I'm having a clean copy made.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
yeah, I'm sorry. But Mr. Jackson is saying, thank you, I would have gotten there, don't worry. Without any assistance, I worked through the names. Mr. Jackson has said that the report he has on this pie is, I guess, they're looking at the same sort of objections as to Ms. Hayes. And again, I would simply state, without knowing what she's going to testify to, it has to be proper sur rebuttal to something that's been put on in rebuttal. It also, if there's hearsay objections and it's based on hearsay, then you can expect how it'll be ruled on. It all depends.
And I think I mentioned this, Mr. Dixon, I don't know that I mentioned it, Mr. Jackson, but we were talking about that, and I said, I agree, when you go through the report, it does need to be certainly culled, because there is material in there that is not proper sur rebuttal, and I definitely agree with him on that, and I think we can work through that.
Let me just ask, I could go back in my notes, but what witnesses, since we've jumped around, do you believe you've called in rebuttal? Do you have a list of them?
Off the top of my head, Michael Bay,
Okay,
Terzian, who's the agent,
right,
Neely Hudson,
right,
Bruce Liverpool.
Bruce Liverpool,
right,
Dr. Andrews,
right,
and
And Deborah Robitaille.
Deborah Robitaille.
okay.
That's it.
So basically, that's what you're going to be offering sur rebuttal as to those witnesses. Okay, well, we know where to look in case there's a question that comes up. I will take Ms. Hudson's testimony home with me and to see exactly what she testified to, but just so that you know the parameters, those are the witnesses unless someone has been left out. And if it's not in rebuttal to those, in sur rebuttal to those,
They don't go.
they don't go. Okay? All right, thank you. Anything else we need to cover?
Judge Klein just did us the
Right.
this is the pie report,
Okay, do you want me to take that home?
if you don't mind.
All right, I'll take,
It's going to come up tomorrow.
Okay.
Just to remind you that
yes.
Just to remind you, Mr. Brunon, although he's not with us this afternoon, had indicated earlier to you.
Yes, there's a motion you
There's the
filed.
motion to strike that's pending.
Okay, I'm prepared on it, but the people have to be prepared. When they're ready, they'll argue it. It really doesn't have to be done any time before we get to jury instructions.
No, it's just, I just want to remind you, it's still up on the,
Well, let me just say, we also have the people's motion for affidavits and telephone records of Lana Clarkson that's on the table. We have, there's a motion that went off a long time ago, and I told you how to proceed with it if you wanted to bring people in and testify, and that was the motion for outrageous government conduct, and it hasn't been followed up on.
We've got to get a declaration from a witness.
Okay?
We know where we're at, and we
Okay.
can't get beyond that at this point, but we're going to make one more try.
Okay, because I have that. Okay, you wanted to approach Mr. Cutler? Okay.
Outrageous government conduct. What did they do? Okay. We are not going to get into Warner Spitz right now. Because that is just a little too much to deal with right now. Before we get to this train wreck of a trial with no defense whatsoever. Okay. I have us set to redirect to the Washington v. Ali and Ali trial. We are going, closing arguments is not going to start until noon. We are going to finish the charging conference. So you will be directed over there. And it's going to start in about 10 minutes. I'm going to take a little break, try to find me something for breakfast because we have no food in this house. We have dinner food and lunch food, but no breakfast food. I had breakfast food until we got invaded by ants. How do I get rid of the ants with peppermint oil? Wiggles, just like put it on my counter. Like a thin layer of peppermint oil on my counter. Because the ants have taken over. There's this brand called Kodiak, and they make wonderful protein stuff. You cannot taste the protein. It does not taste nasty proteiny at all. They make oatmeal, granola, pancake mix. They make little protein snacks, like they make these snickerdoodle balls. Well, you make them, but it's a mix. And they're like granola and oatmeal and stuff, but they taste like snickerdoodles. Oh, they are so good. I love this company. Like, if I had the money to invest. Oh, spray the corn. Okay, thank you. That is what I'm gonna do. Do you just spray the oil itself, or do you have to dilute it? I can Google that. Because my stepdaughter told me that. So I have peppermint oil up there that I bought for that and then forgot about it. And it's still sitting up there. And I'm like, why do I have peppermint oil? I hate peppermint. And then I was like, oh, yeah. Kristen told me it would get rid of bugs. It's just up there. But I didn't even think about it. And then you said that it gets rid of ants. And I was like, oh my God, we have ants right now. We need to try that. But yeah, it's been in the cabinets and everywhere. And so I had this bag of granola up in the cabinets, and the other night I took celery and peanut butter, like the whole jar of peanut butter. I didn't eat the whole jar. I just took the jar. Instead of getting a spoonful out, I took the whole jar. And so then later there were ants in the bed, and I was getting bit, and I'm like, how did ants get in my bed? And I knew we'd previously had some ants in the kitchen. And I was like, were there ants on the peanut butter jar? How did ants get in the cabinet? And I was like, Travis, I think there are ants in the cabinet because there's ants in the bed, and the only place it could have come from was the peanut butter jar. So then he looks in the cabinet, and my granola is full of ants. So, like, I guess the little Ziploc thing on the top didn't zip, and I thought it did. So I have no granola for breakfast now, so. And it was so good. It was my favorite breakfast. Cookie, butter, granola. Sometimes I would just eat it. Sometimes I'd put it in milk with fruit. Oh, it was so good. So now I have to go find something for breakfast. That was my only breakfast food that I had. I guess I could cook an egg. Anyway, now that I've talked for another 5 minutes, I only have 5 minutes to get somebody. Anyway, this Kodiak, like the bear, Kodiak, and they make, like, I tried the Magic Spoon, and at first I liked the Magic Spoon cereal, but then after a while I didn't like it anymore. But the Kodiak, they make chocolate pancake mix, chocolate chip pancake mix, buttermilk pancake mix. They make all kinds of like brownie mixes. They in a cup. They have like brownie mix in a cup. You just add water and you stick it in the micro. Oh my gosh, they make wonderful. Yes. Amazing. And they taste like regular stuff. It's not nasty at all. It's so good. So good. Love it. But yeah, the ants got my granola. I was mad. Okay, so this is going to redirect, and I will see you guys in a few minutes.